June wiped sweat from his forehead as he stared at the blinking light on his control panel. His small salvage ship, the Wanderer, drifted through the empty space at the edge of Korean territory. The air in the cabin smelled of hot metal and coffee. "Ship, what is that signal?" June asked, pointing at the blinking red dot on his radar screen. "Unknown signal detected in Sector 7. The ship's computer answered in its flat voice. "Origin: unidentified. Signal pattern does not match any known Korean or Alliance transmissions." June leaned forward. After 3 months in space with no good finds, he needed something valuable. His savings were nearly gone, and the ship needed repairs. "Show me the location," he said. A map appeared on the main screen. The signal came from an unmapped asteroid field far from the usual trade routes. "Warning," the computer said. "Area contains dangerous navigation hazards. No registered salvage claims in that sector. Recommend avoiding this region." June smiled. No registered claims meant whatever was out there was his to find first. "Calculate the fastest route," he ordered. "This action is not advised," the computer replied. "Signal source is in uncharted territory." "Just do it," June said, "and prepare the scanning equipment." The computer fell silent for a moment, then displayed a course through the asteroid field. June took control of the ship and pushed the engines to full power. The Wanderer shuddered as it changed direction. As he flew closer to the signal, June checked his equipment. His breathing mask hung ready by the airlock. His cutting tools were charged. The cargo hold sat empty, waiting to be filled with valuable alien technology. 6 hours later, the Wanderer approached the edge of the asteroid field. Rocks of all sizes floated in the darkness, some as small as June's fist, others bigger than his ship. "Signal strength increasing," the computer announced. "Estimated distance: 20 kilometers." June carefully guided the ship between the asteroids. His hands gripped the controls tightly as he avoided collision after collision. Sweat dripped down his back. Attempting to identify signal type, the computer said. "Is it a ship?" June asked hopefully. Alien ships, even broken ones, could make a salvager rich. The technology inside them was worth more than most people earned in 10 years. "Signal patterns suggest artificial origin," the computer said. "Possible distress beacon. Warning: signal characteristics do not match any known species in the database." June's heart beat faster. Something truly unknown could be worth even more. "Hand base, this is salvage ship Wanderer," he said into his communication system. "I'm tracking an unknown signal in Sector 7. Requesting information and claiming salvage rights." Static answered him. He tried again. "Hand base, do you copy? This is June on the Wanderer. Communication systems experiencing interference," the computer informed him. Unable to establish connection with hand base or any other outpost. June frowned. That wasn't normal. But the promise of valuable salvage was too great to turn back now. "Continue approach," he ordered. "Full sensor sweep." The ship moved deeper into the asteroid field. The signal grew stronger with each passing minute. Then the ship's systems flickered. The lights dimmed for 3 seconds before returning to normal. "Warning," the computer said. "Unknown energy field detected. Systems experiencing interference." "What kind of energy?" June asked. Before the computer could answer, a massive asteroid moved to the side, revealing the source of the signal. June's mouth fell open. It wasn't a ship. Floating in space was a huge white creature. It looked like the dragons from old Earth stories, with a long body and what appeared to be folded wings. Its scales glowed with a soft white light, and covering much of its body were round, shell-like objects. Millions of them, like barnacles on an ocean creature. "That's impossible," June whispered. The creature didn't move. It seemed to be sleeping, floating peacefully among the asteroids. June's sensor equipment went crazy, readings jumping off the charts. "Computer, what am I looking at?" "Unknown life form," the computer responded. No match in database. Warning. Scanning systems may be malfunctioning. June stared at the impossible creature. It wasn't the broken alien ship he had hoped to find. It was something much more interesting. June couldn't take his eyes off the giant white creature floating in space. It was at least 3 times longer than his ship. Its body glowed against the darkness, making the asteroids around it look like small planets circling a white sun. "Computer, take pictures," June ordered. "Record everything." "Recording," the computer confirmed. Warning. Unusual energy readings detected from the organism. June slowly guided his ship closer. The dragon-like creature didn't move. It seemed to be sleeping or in some kind of deep rest. The millions of barnacle-like objects covering parts of its body looked like small shells, each one about the size of June's palm. "Is it alive?" June asked. The computer was silent for several seconds. Life signs detected, but extremely slow. "The entity appears to be in a dormant state." June made a decision. This was better than any broken ship he could have found. If he could bring back proof of this discovery, he would be famous. And fame meant money. "Prepare the small research pod," he said. "I'm going out there." "Not recommended," the computer replied. "Unknown organism may pose biological or physical hazards." June ignored the warning. He put on his spacesuit and breathing mask, checked his oxygen levels, and entered the small pod that would take him outside the ship. His heart beat fast with excitement and fear as the pod detached from the Wanderer. The pod moved slowly toward the creature. Up close, the dragon looked even more amazing. Its scales weren't just white. They had a rainbow shine when the light hit them from different angles. Its closed eyes were huge, each one bigger than June's entire body. But the barnacles were the strangest part. They weren't just sitting on the creature's skin. They seemed to be connected to it, with small, glowing veins running between them. June carefully maneuvered the pod near one section of the creature, where the barnacles were most dense. He extended the pod's mechanical arm and tried to take a sample. The moment the arm touched one of the barnacles, it lit up with bright blue light. Then the barnacle next to it lit up too. Soon, a wave of blue light was spreading across all the barnacles on the creature's body. "Computer, what's happening?" June shouted into his communication system. "Energy surge detected," the computer answered. "Recommend immediate retreat to safe distance." Before June could move the pod, the creature's giant eye opened. It was silver, like a mirror, with no pupil that June could see. The eye turned and focused directly on June's small pod. June froze. The creature was awake, and it was looking right at him. A strange feeling washed over him, like someone was touching his mind. Images flashed in his head. Stars he'd never seen, planets with 3 suns, creatures made of light. "Computer, get me back to the ship now," he yelled. The pod started to move back toward the Wanderer, but suddenly all its systems shut down. The lights went out. The engine stopped. June floated in darkness, with only his suit's emergency light providing any illumination. Through the pod's window, he saw the dragon moving now, slowly stretching what indeed looked like wings, impossibly large wings that seemed to catch the light of distant stars. Its long tail uncurled, pushing aside asteroids as if they were toys. The barnacles all over its body were pulsing with blue light, like millions of tiny hearts beating together. June's communication system crackled to life again. "Warning," the computer said, its voice breaking up. "Ship systems failing. Unknown energy field increasing in strength." June watched in amazement and terror as the creature fully awoke. It was the most beautiful and frightening thing he had ever seen. Then the creature's head turned toward his main ship. It opened its mouth, revealing teeth that shimmered like diamonds. But instead of attacking, it released a cloud of small, glowing particles that enveloped the Wanderer. To June's surprise, his pod systems suddenly came back online. The engine started again. The lights turned on. And in his mind, he heard a voice, not in words, but in feelings and images, that somehow said, "Asterisk hello, small one." It has been a long time since I met someone new asterisk. June's hands shook as he guided the pod back to the Wanderer. The dragon's presence in his mind felt warm, like sitting near a fire on a cold night. "Who are you?" June whispered, not knowing if the creature could understand words. More images flashed in his mind. A journey through dark space, stars dying and being born, long periods of sleep. Then came a sound, not quite a word, but a feeling that June somehow understood as a name. Da. The pod docked with the main ship. When June removed his helmet, he was surprised to find all systems working normally again. "Computer, status report," he said. "All systems functioning at optimal levels." The computer answered. "Energy readings have stabilized. Warning: unknown organism is approaching the ship." June rushed to the main window. The white dragon was moving closer, its massive body gliding smoothly through space. The barnacles covering much of its skin continued to pulse with blue light. "Computer, what are those things on its body?" June asked, pointing at the barnacles. The computer ran a scan. Analysis suggests they are separate organisms living in symbiosis with the larger entity. They appear to be processing cosmic radiation and converting it to energy. That explained how the creature could survive in the emptiness of space, June thought. The barnacles were keeping it alive. The dragon, Da, stopped just outside the ship. One of its giant eyes looked directly into the window where June stood. Again, June felt the strange touch in his mind. This time, he saw images of the barnacles. He understood they were not just providing energy. They were protecting Da during long sleeps between stars. They had been together for. The time sense June received was so vast, he couldn't fully grasp it. Thousands of years, perhaps more. "You've been traveling for a very long time," June said softly. A feeling of agreement flowed into his mind. "Where are you from?" June asked. The images that came were confusing. A planet with rings like Saturn, but the rings glowed with blue light. Tall crystal towers. Then destruction, fire, and chaos. Escape. June suddenly understood. "You're a refugee. Your home was destroyed." Sadness washed over him, not his own, but Da's sadness. It was so deep and old that it made June's eyes fill with tears. "Computer, can you record these mental transmissions?" June asked. "Negative," the computer replied. "No detectable signals found." So only he could receive these communications. June took a deep breath and made a decision. He needed help. "Computer, prepare an emergency message to Dr. Hana Song at the Korean Space Authority. Priority level: highest. Communications are still limited," the computer warned. "Boost the signal using auxiliary power," June ordered. "This message has to get through." As the computer prepared the transmission, June felt another push against his mind. Da was showing him something new. One of the barnacles detaching from its body and floating toward the ship. "What are you doing?" June asked aloud. The feeling that came back was like a gift, an offering. The small barnacle, about the size of a coffee cup, floated up to the window. It pulsed with blue light that seemed to beat like a heart. "Computer, open the sample collection port," June said. "Warning: bringing unknown life forms aboard is against protocol," the computer reminded him. "Override. Authorization code June 714. A small hatch opened on the ship's hull. The barnacle drifted inside, where it was automatically placed in a sealed containment unit. June went to the lab section of his ship. The barnacle sat in the clear container, still pulsing with blue light. When June touched the container, the barnacle seemed to respond, its light pulsing faster. "What are you?" June whispered. The ship's communication system suddenly came to life. "Salvage Ship Wanderer. This is Dr. Hana Song of the Korean Space Authority. We received your emergency signal. What have you found?" June looked at the barnacle, then at the massive white dragon still floating outside his ship. "Something impossible," he answered. "I need your help, Hana, and I need you to come alone." Hannah arrived 16 hours later in a small research ship. She had come alone, just as Jun had asked. Her ship carefully approached the Wanderer, avoiding the asteroid field. "June, I can see your ship." Her voice came through the communication system. "But the sensors are showing something huge next to you." "What is that?" "That's what I wanted to show you," Jun replied. "Prepare yourself, Hannah. It's unlike anything we've ever seen." As Hannah's ship moved closer, Jun felt De's presence in his mind again. The dragon was curious about the new arrival. "It's okay," Jun said aloud to Da. "She's a friend. She studies life forms. She can help us understand each other better." Hannah's ship docked with the Wanderer. When the airlock opened, Jun saw his ex-wife for the first time in 3 years. She looked the same. Short black hair, serious eyes, always carrying too many research tools. "This better be important," she said. "I told my supervisors I was taking personal leave. If they find out." Her words stopped as she looked out the window and saw Da. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. That's impossible," she finally whispered. "I know," Jun said, "but it's real. And there's more." He led her to the lab where the barnacle was still pulsing in its container. Hannah immediately took out her scanning tools. Her hands moved quickly, taking readings and samples. "The main creature appears to be generating its own gravity field," she said, looking at her scanner. "And it's producing oxygen. June, it shouldn't be able to survive in space, but it's thriving out there." "The barnacles help it," June explained. "They work together." Hannah looked up from her scanner. "How do you know that?" June tapped his head. "It talks to me. Not with words, but with images and feelings. Its name is Da." Hannah stared at him. "Mental communication. Are you sure?" Before June could answer, the barnacle in the container began to pulse more rapidly. Blue light filled the lab. "What's happening?" Hannah asked. June felt a pull in his mind. Da was trying to show him something important. "It wants us to understand," Jun said, placing his hand on the container. Suddenly, the blue light shot out from the barnacle, surrounding both June and Hannah. June heard Hannah gasp as the light touched her. In their minds, they both saw the same vision. Da's home world, a beautiful planet with crystal cities. Then came the destruction, a war with another species that Da's kind had tried to help. The few survivors flowed into deep space, each carrying precious knowledge in the form of the symbiotic barnacles. Each barnacle contained memories, scientific information, and history. They were not just life support. They were a library. When the vision ended, Hannah was crying. "It's the last of its kind," she whispered. "Not just the last," Jun said, understanding more now. "It's a guardian. The barnacles hold the knowledge of its entire civilization." Hannah turned to her equipment and began taking more careful readings of the barnacle. "This is incredible," she said after several minutes. "The energy readings from this small organism are off the charts, and its cellular structure. I've never seen anything like it." She looked up at June with excitement in her eyes. "Do you know what this means? The technology we could develop from studying these organisms could change everything. Clean energy, advanced medicine, maybe even new ways to travel through space." June nodded, but he felt uneasy. "Da didn't come here to be studied or used. I think it was searching for something." Hannah was about to reply when her communication device beeped. She looked at it and frowned. "That's strange," she said. 3 ships just entered this sector. They're sending out identification signals." She showed June the screen. His stomach tightened when he saw the name. "Tajin Conglomerate," he read aloud. "How did they find us so quickly?" "I don't know," Hannah said, "but they're coming this way fast." Outside the window, Da's body began to glow brighter, as if sensing the approaching danger. 3 large black ships moved through the asteroid field with ease. Each one was 10 times bigger than June's Wanderer. They formed a triangle around Da and the 2 smaller ships. Salvage ship Wanderer and research vessel Aurora. This is Director Tai of the Tejin conglomerate. A deep voice came through the communication system. We claim jurisdiction over this sector and any discoveries made here. June looked at Hana. Did you tell anyone about this? No. Hana shook her head. But my ship might have been tracked. The authority monitors all research vessels. Outside, Dai moved closer to the Wanderer, as if seeking protection. The millions of barnacles covering its body flashed with blue light. We need to respond, Hana said. She pressed the communication button. Director Tai, this is Dr. Hana Song. We are conducting private research. This area is not under Tejin jurisdiction. Dr. Song, Tai replied smoothly. Your presence here is interesting. The Korean Space Authority will be surprised to learn about your unauthorized expedition. Hana's face went pale. If the authority found out she had used her position to help June, she could lose her job. What do they want? June whispered. Before Hana could answer, the largest of the three ships sent out a scan beam. It washed over Da like a spotlight. Immediately, June felt pain and fear in his mind. Day didn't like the scan. It was hurting the dragon somehow. Stop that! June shouted into the communication system. Your scan is causing pain. The scan continued for another minute, then shut off. Day's mental presence in June's mind felt weaker now, like a radio losing signal. Fascinating. Tay's voice came again. Our scans show technology we've never seen before. Dr. Song, Mr. June, prepare to be boarded. We will take over this research effective immediately. June saw small ships launch from the largest Tejin vessel. They were coming to board the Wanderer. We can't let them take Da, June said. Who knows what they'll do to it? Hana looked at her readings again. These scans confirm what I thought. The barnacles produce energy in a way we've never seen before. And they contain compounds that could extend human life by decades. The Tejin conglomerate would pay anything for that technology. June felt sick. They wouldn't see Dai as a living being with its own history and knowledge. They would see it as something to use, to take apart and study. The docking ship was almost at the Wanderer's airlock. We need to leave now, June said, rushing to the control panel. We can't outrun those ships, Hana pointed out. June closed his eyes and focused his thoughts on Da. He sent images of the Tejin ships as a threat, a danger. He tried to share his fear that they would hurt Da and use the barnacles for their own profit. Day's presence in his mind grew stronger again. Understanding flowed between them. Outside, the great white dragon began to glow brighter. The barnacles all over its body flashed from blue to bright white. A wave of energy spread out from Da's body, washing over all the ships. The lights in the Wanderer flickered, then stabilized. But the Tejin ships weren't so lucky. Their engines shut down. Their lights went out. The small boarding ship stopped moving, floating dead in space. What happened? Hana asked, looking at the now dark Tejin ships. Da protected us, June said. It shut down their systems. Hana's eyes widened. That kind of energy control, it's beyond anything we have. June smiled. We need to leave while they're disabled. Are you coming with us? Hana hesitated only for a second before nodding. Yes, but where will we go? I have a friend, June said, already setting a course in the ship's computer. An old space station commander named Q. He runs an outpost far from Tejin territory. As the Wanderer's engines started up, Jum sent a message to Dai through their mental link. Follow us. We'll help you. The great white dragon moved away from the disabled Tejin ships, following the Wanderer as it weaved through the asteroid field toward open space. The Wanderer pushed its engines to maximum speed. Behind them, the great white dragon moved through space with surprising grace for something so large. Its body bent and twisted like a river flowing through the stars. The Tejin ships are powering up again, Hana said, watching the radar. They'll be after us soon. June nodded as he entered coordinates into the navigation system. We need to reach hyperspace before they catch up. Can Dai travel that fast? Hannah asked, looking at the dragon outside their window. June closed his eyes, focusing on their mental link. He sent images of the ship jumping to hyperspace, moving faster than light. He asked if Dai could follow. The feeling that came back was clear. Yes, it can keep up, June said. Dai has traveled between stars before. Hannah looked amazed. A living creature that can move at faster than light speeds. That should be impossible. So does a space dragon, June pointed out. The ship's alarm sounded. On the radar screen, the 3 Tejan ships were moving again, coming after them fast. Hyperspace jump in 30 seconds, the computer announced. June looked out at Dai. Get ready, he said, not knowing if the dragon could hear his words, but feeling the message pass through their mental connection. Jump in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The computer counted down. The stars stretched into lines as the Wanderer entered hyperspace. Through the window, June saw Dai's body stretch in the same way, following them into the faster-than-light tunnel. Inside hyperspace, everything looked strange. The walls of the tunnel flowed with colors that human eyes weren't meant to see, and swimming through this tunnel alongside their ship was Dai, looking more at home here than in normal space. Suddenly, June's mind filled with new images. Dai was sharing memories again, but clearer now, as if the hyperspace environment made their connection stronger. June saw Dai's world again, but now he understood more. Dai's species had been guardians, protectors of knowledge. When their enemies came, beings made of dark energy who fed on stars, Dai's people fought to protect their library world. They lost the war. As their planet died, the surviving guardians each took one section of their people's knowledge. The Barnacles were not just symbiotic life forms. They were living data storage, each one containing books, science, art, and history. Dai had been traveling for over 500 years, looking for a safe place to share this knowledge. Hannah, June said quietly, Dai is showing me everything. Hannah moved to his side. What do you see? The Barnacles aren't just random. Each one holds specific information. It's like each one is a book in a giant library, and Dai has been searching for someone worthy to read them. Hannah's eyes widened. Does Dai think we're worthy? Before June could answer, the ship shuddered violently. Warning, the computer said. Hyperspace disturbance detected. Unknown energy signature following our path. On the radar, 3 dots appeared behind them in the hyperspace tunnel. That's impossible, Hannah said. The Tejan ships couldn't have tracked us through hyperspace. They must have analyzed Dai's energy signature, June realized. They're following the trail. Outside, Dai moved closer to their ship. Through their mental link, June felt the dragon's determination. Dai sent an image of an exit from hyperspace, somewhere far from their planned route. It wants us to change course, June said. It knows a safe place. Hannah looked doubtful. Can we trust it? June nodded without hesitation. Yes, we can. He changed the ship's course, following Dai's mental directions. The hyperspace tunnel curved around them as they veered off their original path. The Tejan ships are still following, Hannah warned. We'll exit hyperspace before they expect, June explained. They'll overshoot our position. The colors of hyperspace swirled faster as the Wanderer prepared to return to normal space. Dai moved ahead of them, leading the way. Exiting hyperspace in 3, 2, 1, the computer announced. The tunnel of light disappeared, and normal stars surrounded them again. Ahead was a small blue planet with 2 moons. Where are we? Hannah asked. This isn't on any Korean star chart. Dai floated before them, its white body glowing against the blue planet. In June's mind, the dragon sent a clear message. Asterisk home. Sci-Fi asterisk. The blue planet grew larger in the ship's window as they approached. It had oceans like Earth, but the land was purple instead of green. No signs of technology or civilization, Hannah said, checking the sensors. But the air is breathable for humans. June felt Da's presence guide them toward one of the moons. It was small and gray, like Earth's moon, but with a smooth metal structure built into its surface. The structure looked ancient but undamaged. "Is that a space station?" Hannah asked in wonder. June nodded. "I think Da's people built it long ago. A safe place." They landed the Wanderer on a flat area near the structure. Day settled nearby, its huge white body curling around their ship protectively. The barnacles covering parts of the dragon's skin glowed with calm blue light. "We should contact Q," Hannah suggested. "Let him know we changed our plans." "Not yet," Jun said. "The Tajin might intercept the message. We need to understand what Dai brought us here for first." They put on their spacesuits and stepped out onto the moon's surface. The gravity was light, making each step feel bouncy. Dai watched them with silver eyes that reflected the blue planet above. As they walked toward the metal structure, Jun felt new images fill his mind. Dai was showing him how to enter the ancient building. At a smooth wall with no visible door, Jun placed his hand on a certain spot. To his surprise, the wall slid open. "How did you know to do that?" Hannah asked. "Dai showed me," Jun explained. Inside, lights came on automatically, revealing a large round room filled with empty pedestals. In the center stood a single pillar with a small depression on top, just the right size for the barnacle they had brought from the ship. "It wants us to place the barnacle here," Jun said, understanding the images in his mind. Hannah took the container with the barnacle from her pack. She opened it carefully and lifted the small organism, which pulsed faster in her hand. "Are you sure this is safe?" she asked. June nodded. "Day says it is." Hannah placed the barnacle in the depression on the pillar. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the barnacle's blue light spread down the pillar and across the floor in patterns like computer circuits. The empty pedestals around the room began to glow. Above each pedestal, holograms appeared. Some showed strange machines, others showed medical procedures, star maps, or mathematical equations. "It's a library," Hannah whispered. "An interactive library of Daz's civilization." June walked to one of the pedestals. The hologram showed what looked like an energy generator, but unlike anything humans had built. It was small, efficient, and according to the data floating beside it, could power a city for 100 years using only water as fuel. "This technology is centuries ahead of ours," Hannah said, examining another pedestal that displayed medical information. "These treatments could cure diseases we haven't even found answers for." June moved from pedestal to pedestal, amazed by each new discovery. One showed ships that could fold space instead of using hyperspace tunnels. Another displayed methods for growing food in any environment. A third revealed communication systems that worked instantly across any distance. Outside, they heard a deep rumbling sound. Through the open door, they saw Day pressing its head against the structure. More barnacles were detaching from the dragon's body and floating toward the building. "It's adding more knowledge to the library," Jun realized. Hannah looked at him with tears in her eyes. "Do you understand what this means? This knowledge could free humanity from resource wars, from corporate control. The Tejin conglomerate controls most of our fuel and technology. But with this," she gestured around the room, "we wouldn't need them anymore." June nodded. "That's why Dad brought us here. Not just to hide from the Tejin ships, but to share this knowledge." Hannah's communication device beeped suddenly. She looked at it with surprise. "It's a message from Q," she said, "but I didn't contact him." She opened the message. Her face grew pale as she read it. "The Tajin told the Korean Space Authority about Da," she said. "They're claiming we stole their discovery. There's a warning out for our arrest." "How did Q find us?" June asked. "He didn't," Hannah said. "He sent this message to every outpost in Korean space. He's trying to warn us." June looked back at the library of knowledge surrounding them, then at Day outside. "We need to share this with everyone," he said, "not just hide here." It's the only way to stop the Tejan from taking control of Da. Hana nodded slowly. But how? We're fugitives now. Jun smiled. We have the most advanced communication technology in the galaxy right here. Let's use it. 3 days later, the Wanderer approached Serenity Station, a large, wheel-shaped space station at the edge of Korean space. Beside the ship, Da glided through the emptiness, its white body now carrying fewer barnacles. Many had been left at the Moon Library, while others were safely stored aboard the Wanderer. There's Q's station, Jum said, pointing at the slowly spinning wheel ahead of them. If anyone can help us spread the word, it's him. Hana looked worried. Are you sure we can trust him? The Tejan have eyes everywhere. Q hates the big corporations as much as I do, Jun assured her. He's been fighting their control for years. As they approached the station, the communication system crackled to life. Wanderer, this is Serenity Station, a deep voice said. Jun, is that you? And what in the stars is that thing with you? It's me, Q, Jun replied with a smile. And that thing is a friend. We need your help. There was a pause. You're in trouble, Jun. The Tejan have put a big reward for your capture. They say you stole something important from them. They're lying. Hana cut in. They're trying to take something that doesn't belong to them. Another pause. Dock at Bay 7, Q finally said. It's off the main registry. No one will know you're here. Jun guided the ship toward a small docking bay on the far side of the station, away from the busier areas. Dad followed, staying close to the ship. What about Da? Hana asked. It can't come inside the station. Jun closed his eyes, connecting with the dragon's mind. After a moment, he opened them again. Da will hide on the dark side of the station for now, he said. We need to speak with Q first. They docked the ship and stepped onto the station. Q was waiting for them, a tall man with gray hair and a thick beard. His eyes widened when he saw Hana. Dr. Song, you're involved in this too? He asked in surprise. It's a long story, Hana said. Q led them through quiet hallways to his private office. Once inside, he locked the door and turned to them. Now tell me what's really going on, he said. What did you find out there? Jun and Hana took turns explaining everything. Finding Da, learning about the Barnacles and their stored knowledge, and escaping from the Tejan ships. Q listened without interrupting. When they finished, he sat back in his chair. If what you're saying is true, he said slowly, this could change everything. The Tejan and other corporations control our lives because they control our resources. But with this kind of knowledge, that's why we need to share it, Jun said. With everyone. Q nodded. My station has the strongest broadcast system in this sector. We could send the basic information to every Korean outpost and colony. Will you help us? Hana asked. Of course, Q began, but then a loud alarm started ringing throughout the station. Q rushed to his computer terminal. 6 ships just dropped out of hyperspace, he said grimly. 3 Tejan vessels, 2 Korean Space Authority patrol ships, and he paused, looking surprised, a representative ship from the Free Colonies. They found us, Hana whispered. How? Jun wondered. Your ship must have been tagged with a tracker, Q said. Standard procedure for research vessels. On the screen, they watched as the ships surrounded the station. Serenity Station, this is Director Tai of the Tejan conglomerate. A familiar voice came through the speakers. We know the fugitives Jun and Dr. Song are aboard your station. Surrender them and the alien specimen immediately. Another voice joined in. This is Captain Sun of the Korean Space Authority. We have orders to detain Dr. Song for theft of research property. Then a third voice. Serenity Station. This is Ambassador Jin of the Free Colonies. We've received information about a discovery that could benefit all people. We wish to ensure this knowledge is not claimed by any single entity. Q looked at Jun and Hana. What now? Jun felt a familiar touch in his mind. Da was communicating with him. Da has an idea, he said. It wants to speak to all of them at once. Speak, Q asked, confused. How? June smiled. The same way it speaks to me, through images and feelings, but it needs to be closer to the ships. If Dai shows itself, the Tajin might attack, Hana warned. Not if everyone is watching, Jun said. Not if every ship sees the truth at the same time. Hugh hesitated, then nodded. I'll open a channel to all ships. What's your plan? Tell them, Jun said, that we're coming out to talk, and that we're bringing proof of something that will change everything. June and Hannah stood in the airlock of Serenity Station, wearing their spacesuits. In Hannah's hands was a container with 5 glowing barnacles that Dai had given them. Are you sure about this? Q asked through their communication system. Yes, Jun said. Dai says it will work. Q's voice addressed the gathered ships. This is Serenity Station. Our guests wish to come out and talk. They will show you something important. Please do not attack. If they surrender the alien specimen, we won't harm them, Director Tay's voice replied. Just listen to what they have to say, Ambassador Jin from the Free Colonies urged. The airlock door opened, and June and Hannah floated out into space. They used their suit jets to move away from the station. Around them, the 6 ships formed a circle, their lights shining on the 2 small humans. Where is the alien creature? Director Ta demanded. As if answering, Dai appeared from behind the station. The great white dragon moved slowly toward June and Hannah, its body glowing against the blackness of space. The ship's crews watched in amazement as the massive creature positioned itself behind the 2 humans. That's impossible, Captain Sun of the Korean Space Authority whispered, his voice carrying over the open channel. People of Earth and the colonies, Jun began, his voice transmitted to all ships. This is Da, a guardian of knowledge from a civilization far older than our own. It came here not as a specimen to be studied or used, but as a teacher. Hana held up the container with the barnacles. These organisms are data storage devices containing knowledge that could change our lives forever. Clean energy, advanced medicine, new ways to travel between stars. They belong to no one, Jun replied, and to everyone. Watch. Day's body began to glow brighter. The barnacles in Hannah's container pulsed with blue light. Suddenly, a wave of energy spread out from Da, touching all the ships. Inside each vessel, screens came to life with images, solutions to problems humans had struggled with for centuries, ways to create energy without pollution, cures for diseases, methods to grow food in any environment, and with the images came feelings. Da was connecting with everyone, showing them not just the knowledge but the wisdom of how to use it. This is just a small sample, Hannah said into the silence that followed. Da wants to share everything, but only if it's shared with all people equally, not sold to the highest bidder. For several minutes, no one spoke. Then Ambassador Jin's voice came through. The free colonies accept this gift, she said, and we promise to share it freely. The Korean Space Authority also accepts, Captain Sun said slowly. Dr. Song, your actions are forgiven in light of this discovery. Only Director Tai remained silent. Director, Joan prompted. The Tejin conglomerate. Ta began, then paused. When he spoke again, his voice was different, humbled. The Tejin conglomerate cannot stand against this. We also accept the terms. Da moved closer to June and Hannah. In their minds, they felt its satisfaction and relief. It had completed its mission after centuries of travel. One by one, the barnacles began to separate from Da's body. They floated toward the ships, each one carrying a piece of ancient knowledge, freely given. 3 months later, June stood on a new platform built on the moon where they had first found the library. The structure had been expanded, and scientists from all human worlds came to study the knowledge Dai had brought. Hana walked up beside him. The first new ships using the fold space technology will launch next week, she said. And the energy systems have already been installed in 10 colonies. June nodded. And the Taijin? Adapting, Hannah said with a smile. They're manufacturing the new medical devices now. It seems even corporations can change when they have to. Outside, visible through the dome's clear walls, Dai rested on the moon's surface. The dragon looked different now. Fewer barnacles covered its body, but it seemed more at peace. Will it leave now? Hannah asked quietly. Jun shook his head. No, Day says its journey is over. This is home now. In his mind, he felt Dai's contentment. The dragon had found worthy recipients for its precious knowledge, and something else. Deep in space, Dai had sensed others of its kind, also searching for worthy civilizations. This is just the beginning, Jun said, looking up at the stars. Day says there are more guardians out there, more knowledge to share. Hannah took his hand. Then we better get ready to welcome them. Above them, the stars seemed brighter somehow, as if the universe itself was watching with approval as humanity took its first steps into a new era of peace and discovery. All because June had found an albino alien dragon with millions of barnacles instead of a broken alien ship.